I'm now wondering if I can do this entire video in less than 3 minutes. So the EcoFlow DC to DC alternator charger, which I've just picked up. I run a Delta 3 and the Delta 3 extra battery. I've just literally upgraded to the Delta 3s. I've been using the Delta 2s since the start. Not paid promo, nothing like that. All paid for out of my own cash. So I use solar on the van. I've currently got a 620 something watt panel that lives on the roof, which is fantastic in the summer. However, roll on the winter. Clearly, I'm in Scotland. We never see any sunshine ever. And I don't really have a way of charging the batteries back up. Yes, I've been plugging it into the cigarette lighter when I'm driving. I drove back from a surf trip this week, 3-hour drive, and the 12 volt accessory connector got me something like 9 to 10% battery charging. This offers 800 watts. I've seen no video on how to fit it to the MAN TGE, and what I realized is the battery is actually inside the vehicle. It's not in the engine bay compartment. The thing I thought was going to be tricky and time consuming was running the cable through the firewall. Let's go. So here we go. This is the van. It was a welfare unit previously. I actually think these kind of EcoFlow units have the potential to change the face of 12 volt setups entirely, because it's so expensive. It's not just a case of having a leisure battery and a couple of cables and a fuse box. There's so many bits and bobs go with it, and even from the solar on my roof, having a charge controller's built into this EcoFlow system. So you know, it's an expensive bit of kit, so I'm just able to run the solar directly into the power station, and it's picking up all the power and it's doing its own charge control. Let's get this fitted. You now have access to everything you need. What I will say at this point is start from the alternator charger. If you go plug in the cables and then you try and run the cables back from the battery, these have huge connectors on them, as you can see. You're going to get stuck and have to do it all again. So comes with this 15-foot cable that charges or plugs straight into the battery, or connects straight to the battery. Be aware, this is a smart battery. It's recommended that you connect the negative to an earthing point and not to the battery. If this doesn't pair automatically with your phone, what I did notice is on this, on the right connector, there's actually a button on the side of it to press to engage the Wi-Fi. So in the app itself, you have to enable the right amount of voltage. So if it's a 12 volt battery, which your van most likely is, then you need to set it to 12 volts so it doesn't drop below that minimum. So there we go. Looks like it's starting to receive the charge. The vehicle is now running. Now, that doesn't just jump straight into the 800 watts or whatever it's going to charge at it. It's not like a kickstart. It kind of ramps itself up, but you can clearly see it doesn't take that long. And there we go, it's at 800 watts. This time of year, running the van for 20 minutes idling, going for a drive, driving home, driving from one beach to the next when I'm looking for waves, I'm going to get tons of juice back into these power stations. So for me, this potentially is a huge game changer.